chance of rain. To town. An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top three, who are Vettel, Rosberg and Max Verstappen. Practice times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F1 action soon.
Hi. Good to meet you at last. My name's Chris, and I'll be working with you as your Chief of Vehicle Development. It'll be my job to get on a series of practice programs and log the performance of the car as you drive it at its limit. This gives us data that we can utilize to develop various performance improvements. In order for me to know which upgrades to prioritize, I'll need you to select a development area that you'd like us to focus on. And you can do that in the R&D section of your laptop. Anyway, that's all for now, but I'll keep you up to date, okay? I'll see you soon.
At the end of this session, we need to return 2 sets of tyres. We'll give back the 2 most warm sets, so we may as well get the most out of them while we can. They won't be available for the rest of the weekend, though, so don't run too hard on anything you might need later on.
As all the cars are now over the line, your top three again are Raikkonen, Rosberg and Daniel Ricciardo. That's it for practice then. We'll see you again soon. Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top three. Rosberg, Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton. Thank you for joining us for free practice today.
Hey, looks like you've got a bit of rivalry going on out there. This is good. Gets people talking about you. Just make sure you outperform them, okay? Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. Many of the drivers have commented on the challenge posed by the high-speed direction changes around this circuit, but you still need to be quick in a straight line. Is that a fair layman's appraisal?
It's easy to make your car quick in a straight line, you just take all the downforce off. But when it comes to a track like this, you really need a bit more of a compromise. The main focus here is carrying speed through the fast-flowing corners, but you still don't want to be a sitting duck on the straight.
take a set of intermediates in these unpredictable conditions? set us back a little.
The grid is all set then for the race tomorrow. But before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top three, who are Rosberg, Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us to...
Hi, guess who? I've seen the team's expectations for the race, so I thought I'd pass them on and wish you luck. Take care.
The atmosphere is heavy with expectation and anticipation, and bearing the weight of that burden today is a place we know very well indeed. It's Albert Park. The story of the season begins here then with the Australian Grand Prix, and it's time for the first chapter to be written. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, man who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction, I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
We can do a lot better than this. Come on.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Nico Rosberg will start his Silver Arrow from pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Raikkonen, Bottas, Perez, Button and Carlos Sainz, Alonso, Hülkenberg, Rio Haryanto and Massa, Grosjean, Gutierrez, Kevin Magnussen and Jolyon Palmer. Verline and Nasser, Marcus Ericsson and a Toro Rosso rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.